Tired of having to wait for an ult to be moved, maids to be off cooldown to transfer your gear, or just want to use all those extra tunes for life skilling? Welcome back to the one channel that wastes time enhancing extra prions so you don't have to. My name is Teddy, and because Prolibus is making the use of alt easier, today I'll be showing you everything you'll need to know about setting up your own alt life skilling tune, from free to play locations to being completely pay to win. This should cover almost everything you'll need to know, get the most from any life skilling alt. So if you find this helpful, be sure to leave a like, and without wasting any more time, let's just jump into this. Black Desert is a massive game with plenty of activities to do, oftentimes spread far, so it can take a while to move from area to area. Sure, you can get a fast horse to speed up traveling or just jump into a well, but even with character move option added to the map, waiting is still going to be an issue, and if you're not life skilling, you're not making money or earning experience. The best way to avoid all this is with using alt setup in location so that you can just switch to them, transfer the gear, or have some already made and just go. One cool thing about using different alts is, like with mob grinding, some classes have cool passives that will increase what you can do during your life skilling, so let's talk about some of the classes perfect for life skilling. While there is no real wrong choice in a class when it comes to life skills, some classes have certain passives that can increase the amount of silver made, decrease the time it can take doing certain things, and make certain life skills easier to do. These won't stop you from doing a life skill, but simply add a cherry on top, if you will. Taking a look at all the classes that have passives that will affect life skills. Mooses are the fastest class, great for those looking to gather, able to easily clear huge distances with a sprint that has almost no cooldown. Corsairs are one of the best tunes for sailing and bartering, also giving a 1% boost to all large ship stats, and she thrives with underwater gathering, having a sprint that can be used underwater with plus 20 seconds underwater breathing. Throw on some underwater breathing gear coupled with that sprint, the Corsair underwater gathering is unmatched. Mystics and Strikers are perfect for matchlock hunting, coming with the Mountain Aura passive that increases all damage reduction by 2 and increases critical hit rate by 1%. Not only that, but they also come with the Howling Wolf passive that increases all evasion plus 40. Keeping up with hunting, we have the Ranger and Archer, which are great for sniper hunting. Not sure if both the Ranger and Archer comes with the increased zooming speed of the sniper rifle like with the Archer, but they both do come with the increased movement speed. The Hasha is great for Pilgrim's Haven mining or anything requiring running through the desert, with being given an increased movement speed bonus while in the desert. A lot of people will consider Lan being the only tune meant for bartering because she can jump the furthest, but with the introduction of the war teleporting, jumping isn't even needed anymore. But yes, Lan does have an increased jump distance, making her great for those not wanting to hit a button. And by far, one of the best life skilling classes in my personal opinion is going to be the Shy, coming with the increased gathering and alchemy experience passives that give plus 30% combat experience while performing both gathering and alchemy, not to mention the increased weight as you level with the light bag passive. Not only does the Shy come with all those passives for gathering and alchemy, he also has outfits that other classes can't wear that has plus 10% gathering experience and plus 10% combat, like with the Curious Gatherer's outfit, or plus 10% alchemy experience with the Whimsical Alchemist outfit. These are just some of the most mentioned classes and how the community likes to power level life skills using them, but if you have any other combinations, drop them down in the comments below. With so many classes and different ways to use them, I'm sure there's a ton of other ideas, and I'm always curious to hear about them. And don't worry, even if your class wasn't mentioned, life skilling can be done on any class. Only the Shy comes with the increased experience rates, but any other class can do anything that you want. Once you do have a class chosen, now it's time for the gear. There are two ways to go about gearing an alt, with the most obvious choice being to use the maids to transfer the gear between the tunes. This method can easily be done using at least 9 maids, give or take an item or two, but for those without a maid, and if you're like me that tends to gather a lot, having the maids on cooldown, transferring the gear will take longer, having to run to a nearby storage. The other way is with building or buying the gear needed for those alts. While this method can be more expensive and takes a while with bad RNG, having a different set of gear for each alt allows for easy switching and continuing to life skill. Luckily, doing this method can make billions while gearing the tune, but I don't recommend it. I will leave a link down in the description below for all the fastest ways to get the enhancing materials and self-enhancing for those still wondering how you can make billions while enhancing your own life skill gear. With all the updates, gearing has changed for an alt, so to start, I recommend getting a basic Trilogia clothes or +3 silver embroidered for farming and trading, Tri accessories, and the Trilogia tools to keep it cheap, and Logia is easier to enhance. Next, we have making a full set of Tri-Manas being the next goal. Not only does the clothes come with bonus experience, once you get the Tri-Manas accessories, they can be converted into the base Prion, which has a bonus set effect of +5% life experience for every 2 Prion worn, for a total of +15% life experience just for the full Prion, and the same set effect bonus for it being considered Manas. Prion also unlocks the Dawn Crystal slots at the bottom of your Crystal UI for bonus experience. As an added bonus, you can get 3 different Flamoros accessories, which are Tri-Manas equivalent. These can be obtained from the seasoned character and from completing a Dalashin quest. Finally, the end goal for gear should be getting at least Manas clothes, +4 silver embroidered, and Manas tools to get the 2k mastery and more experience. But using Tri with some life skills can be done still to get the 2k mastery or more, but it does require being more pay to win. Because alchemy stones aren't shared, the Trans tier is perfect for power leveling and can easily be switched out to any alt. For processing, gathering, cooking, hunting, and alchemy benefit more from using the sharp alchemy stone of life, having more stats than the Trans tier. But for those needing more mastery, the Khan's Heart is great with the passive +25 mastery for just being worn, but this can be a little expensive, so I suggest getting one just to swap around. Alchemy stones can be crafted and grown or bought off the central market. The last thing to consider are the Garmoth's Hearts for the unlocks on the 2 corner crystal slots in your crystal UI for more mastery and life experience. Placing one on an awakening weapon is only needed for the crystal unlocks and can be obtained from either doing Garmoth events or from the central market. Keep in mind, the Mirror of Equilibrium can be used to remove a Garmoth heart from any weapon, so you can place it on another one, or an awakening exchange coupon can also be used. The rest of the gear, like the crystals and artifacts, are all shared, so these are the most important parts until Prilobus makes more shared gear. And remember, all you really need is one set of gear to switch them around. Making multiple sets is not exactly the cheapest, and they give out enough maids to be able to go and transfer all the gear without having to worry. Even after the gear, depending on the life skill alt being made, some pearl items can help out, but are by no means needed, and I'll focus on character related pearl items and not things like the storage. Jumping straight in, we have the inventory slots. Inventory space can make or break a life skilling session with not having enough room for the loot. Fortunately, Prilobus was kind enough to offer a ton of the free inventory slots, so you won't have to worry about buying any. If you don't want to wait, they are available in the pearl shop. 3 ways to get these are with creating a new character, season progression, event, logging in, amongst other activities like breathing. However, inventory is character bound and can only be transferred by using a secret scroll of equilibrium from events. Next are the weight increases. These are going to be completely pay to win, with more weight increasing how much money and experience can be made, not to mention how many items can be made. No matter the life skill, more weight is a plus, but these are rarely given out. Also, these are character bound, just like the inventory slots. In order to transfer the weight, you will have to use a secret scroll of equilibrium earned from events too. While costumes are technically a piece of gear, these are completely pay to win. Buying certain costumes from the Pearl shop or using an equipment tailoring coupon on the life skill clothes from the luxury vendors. Each costume binds to a single class, so you can use them on another toon of the same class. For other classes, a new one must be bought, made, or exchanged using the Merv's tailoring tools in the loyalty store, but only one of each tool can be bought per family. You can't mention alts or the pearl shop without mentioning the maids or butlers. Without a maid, it can take a while having to move materials manually from the area to a storage or switching gear. Remember, it will take up to 9 to 12 maids to fully move gear that's needed, and unfortunately, each maid can only carry 100 weight. The more maids and butlers, the more materials that can be stored without needing to run to a storage. Maids are given out a lot during events or can just be bought in the pearl shop. Next, for the pearl shop, we have the buildables. Defensive abundance is perfect for those trying to get heavy into farming. These are 10 slot fences Next up is the Nefart tent. This is going to be needed for popping those villa buffs if you have the Book of the Old Moon active. If not, you will have to travel to the villa to get the villa invite just to be able to use the buff, but you can repair any gear without having to enter any town. Lastly, we have the premium container. These are perfect for those not wanting to travel all the way to the storage to move any materials. And if you have the shared storage, you are able to move any material from any storage in the game. Now that the character slots were removed from the loyalty, for newer players, getting another ult might cost money, making it little important for anyone trying to make more money lifeskilling or just spending less time running around. Don't let this discourage you, however. Lifeskills can be done only on one or as many toons as you choose. Other notable mentions for easier lifeskilling on alts are the family inventory slots. The family inventory weight increases for more buffs while out lifeskilling. Florence travel bags are great for keeping gear managed. Finally, the Marco's gear bag if you have a toon that does both mob grinding and lifeskilling, but also comes with the added bonus of letting you switch your gear at the press of a button. But enough about paying for pearl items, let's talk about locations to put your alts. Location is important when it comes to making money in Black Desert, with time factoring in how much silver you can possibly make once an alt is set up and geared. With the addition of the map moving feature, it's easier to move alts around to the location without needing to switch them. So with that in mind, there are several locations that come into mind when it comes to maximizing how much money or experience you can earn. Starting off, we have Bear. Bear is a great location for those wanting to either gather elk for cooking or the hides and herbs for alchemy. With a ton of resources around, you're able to burn 600 energy within the hour easily. Next, we have Pilgrim's Haven. Any veteran of gathering knows all about mining the stone here in Pilgrim. Just like in Bear, you're able to burn a massive amount of energy within the hour. Luckily, there is a storage nearby in Sam Bazaar, which isn't too far if you have a dine or a camel. Remember to bring a compass to remove the desert fog if you don't know your way around. Changing pace, we have hunting like matchlock hunting out here in Narcion. Hunting out here can be a little harder at lower levels, but with just how out of the way it is, setting up an alt can speed up getting those cooking materials, earning billions, and it is one of the best places to level hunting and gathering at the same time. The storage is a little further away in Draxia, but with the mount, it's not too bad. Alongside hunting, we have the sniper hunting out here in the wildlife reserve over in the land of the morning light. Sniper hunting is the best way to earn billions while spending very little energy. Setting up a toon out here can speed up the hunting for cooking materials, crystals for both life and combat, trophies, and a ton of enhancing materials. If there's one spot that I would recommend setting up a higher gear toon, this is it. As for the storage options, make sure to bring a lot of maids, with the closest storage being all the way out in Dalbo Village. Heading all the way out to the coast of Velia, we have Velia Beach. Yeah, I know, the only fishing spot in the game with all the others being shunned. Setting up an ult out here can not only make a ton of money while AFKing, but you can practically spit on the storage keeper. Other spots like Aqua's Eye, Underground Bridge, or even Tiger's Island can do, but it's mainly up to you. Moving into Velia, we have the Wharf. This is where I like to keep my sailing alt, since Velia is the start of the Saily Dailies. An alt can be set up in Ilia for faster bartering or Aqua's Eye for sea monster hunting, but Velia has so many quests to kick off your daily routine, making it a must for those not wanting to waste time. Keeping up with Velia, we have the coastal cliff for farming. Setting up fences here has some of the best conditions for growing most plants fast and has a ton of room to fit 10 slots with ease. Now for those wanting more experience with needing to prune the plants, setting up wet plants in dry regions or dry in wet regions will increase the need to tend and earn more experience, but it will drop the quality and earn less money. Cooking and alchemy is different when it comes to setting up an alt with needing to own a house in order to cook or brew anything. When choosing a house, if you don't have 10 contribution for a storage box or being able to buy one in the pearl shop, choose a house close to the storage, central market, and the Imperial NPC if possible, like Olvia 6-3, Elton 2, or the old classic Heidel 1-1, just to name a few. If shared storage is not unlocked yet, no storage container, make sure to choose a house in the town that you store your alchemy, cooking, or both Processing is almost like cooking in alchemy, needing to be at a storage keeper or container to process massive amounts. Where processing differs is being able to process without needing a house. If wearing the Venezuela costume or cart key for mail, an alt can be placed at a storage keeper and process the material straight from inside the storage. There really isn't a reason to move a processing character able to move huge stacks into the warehouse, then into a storage without even needing higher weight. Keep in mind though, processing alts will need a lot of weight, or you'll have to keep an eye on the game to ensure you're not just standing around wasting money. Moving on is horse training. Any capital can do able to support a huge horse empire. One spot that does stand out for having the highest free stables able to be rented is being Twighlite. Out here not only has the highest free stables you can get, but has the closest wild horse spots in the game apart from Heidel. I recommend setting up an alt out here to start printing money or power leveling, training easier with Twighlite being out of the way. Finally, we have Buckboat with trading. Why bother traveling a well and hopping a map or riding out to Buckboat just to trade once a month? Luckily, all we need is a mount to stock up the crates and the gear for easier leveling or bargaining with the trader clothes made into a costume. A trader can be set up in Valencia to trade in the Land of the Morning Light crates if need be. And before you ask, setting up an alt out in Arhaza does nothing since we can't ship any crates out there. We can only run them from Valencia. There's several other locations that you can place life scaling alts, like Coral Cove for example. These are just some of the most notable locations that can easily earn billions, huge amounts of materials, or faster experience. The great thing about Black Desert being a sandbox game is the fact that you can play how you want and set up your own tunes to best fit your own goals. And that should be everything you'll need to know about setting up your own life scaling alt or trying to get the most from all those old mob grinding tunes collecting dust. I hope this helps give you at least an idea of some of the things that you can do with those alts and some of the benefits for using them. I originally only played with one dedicated life skiller, choosing to spend the extra time running around, but after all the quality of life changes making it easier to use alts, I've been leaning more into getting each alt geared and around 2k mastery so I don't have to waste time on the maids just moving the items. And yeah, I know, it's a complete waste of time and silver, but because Black Desert is a sandbox game, you can choose how to play, and this is how I like to play. Let me know if you like to choose to use your maids, or if you run into the issue of cooldowns when needing gear, or if you've been choosing to make the spare gear to avoid the wait like me. I'm curious if I'm the only one, but while you're down there, be sure to share this around, hype up the guide to help get it placed higher in the search, and if you need more Black Desert life skilling content, be sure to check out the channel for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep gathering out there, everyone.